Hey folks, and welcome to our political podcast. I'm Joey A, and this is
Maddie T.
That's right. And today we are going to get into the weeds of all the political turmoil going on in the world. The 2024 election between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. But before we get into that, I want to take a moment to talk about our sponsor. And our sponsor today is
Punct. Have you ever had trouble with your punctuation in a text message or in an email? Great Grammar Correction AI service actually only corrects your punctuation. It's called Punct, and I use it for everything. I use Punct. It corrects all the punctuation, nothing else in the whole paragraph. So if I have a whole paragraph full of exclamation points and it's not supposed to be a strongly worded email, it'll correct it all to periods or question marks if it is a question.
That's right, and if you're a person who likes to add a couple of exclamation points to make their sentences a little more exciting, Punct will keep you in line. It'll keep you from getting in trouble when you want to just go to the store instead of go to the store.
Punct does not correct any text, only punctuation. It's Punct.
Punct. Check it out today.
Punct. It will punch up your punctuation in your texts. Inflation.
Yes. There's a lot to get into with inflation. It's all over the news. Everyone's got an opinion on it. And we're going to do the deep dive that you need to understand how inflation works.
I took intro level economics in my undergrad at Queensborough Community College.
Inflation affects everyone in some way or another. But before we get into it, we want to talk about our sponsor for this segment, and that is Broken Hearted, the feature film Broken Hearted by I Like to Play with Toys Productions. Broken Hearted. That's right, the feature film Broken Hearted, which is streaming on Amazon Prime, and you can watch it for the low price of $2.99. You can rent it. Right after watching this video, you can go to Amazon Prime and rent Broken Hearted, the feature film. Winner of multiple film festivals. Huge hit. It has a cast. I don't know if they're all stars, but they deserve to be. Tell me, Matt, I believe you had a small cameo in the film, right?
Yes, I played a zookeeper.
Yes, it was an amazing scene. You can see him in the background playing cards, gambling away.
My favorite part.
I'm going to have to rewatch that movie on Amazon Prime and check that scene out to see if I can find it. In the same vein as The Notebook.
Notebook 2.
American Graffiti. Completely independent rock soundtrack, which is amazing. A beautiful soundtrack, award-winning soundtrack. Everything you can like. Broken Hearted on Amazon Prime. You can rent it and stream it right now, right after watching this video. Go check it out.
Right, so what we're going to talk about now is voter turnout. Who's coming out to vote? What demographics do these politicians need to reach?
With the 2024 election, voter turnout is something that people need to know about. But before we get into that segment, let's take a moment to talk about Fernie Cell Service, the one-man cell service. If you're tired of dealing with large corporations and your cellular service, then you want to connect to Fernie Cell Service, the one-man operation. He monitors all the calls. We're talking about all of them. Fernie Cell Service, the one-man cell service that's great for the whole family. Matt uses Fernie Cell Service as well. And Matt, what are your thoughts on that?
I would love to get into Fernie Cell Service because it's done wonders for me. But first, I'd like to get into another business that I'm very excited about. My cousin Rodrigo opened up a fish store just outside of Staten Island. It's called Rowdy Roddy's Fish Emporium. And Rodrigo, he's always loved fish. He grew up around the fish. He bought fish. He's won fish at carnivals. The store is not very big, and it's about one room, and it has about 20 fish right now. It sells out really quick.
Chilean sea bass.
Yeah, it's actually
Alaskan bass.
It's fish for eating and to keep in your home in an aquarium. He has about 2 or 3 filters in
aquarium
there
bass
that you can buy. Yeah, he has all the types of bass. Well, only within 20 fish. So he has about he gets quite a surplus of bass, but he more specializes in catfish. But who's really differentiating between the fish? Let me just tell you something.
Catfish bass.
Rodrigo, he's a great fish inspector. He loves fish, and if you go into that store, you're going to share the love of fish with him. So go to Rowdy Roddy's Fish Emporium just outside of Staten Island. It's somewhere in that vicinity. If you go on Google Maps, you might find it.
Just under the Verrazano Bridge, am I right?
I think so.
That's right.
Yes.
And then getting back to it, Fernie Cell Service provides all the cell service for Rowdy Roddy's Fish. A one-man operation where all the calls and all the texts you make get routed through Fernie, and then Fernie sends those messages off to your loved ones, to your family members, to your friends, to your boss. He reads them, and then he routes them out to wherever they have to go. And he'll prevent you from sending that dreaded late-night text because he's asleep when you send that.
Who wants to have the trouble of sending those dreaded late-night texts?
I know I don't. But Fernie makes sure that that never happens.
Yeah, my cousin Rodrigo and his entire family uses Fernie Cell Service, and it's great because if you have cell phone issues or things like that, you can call Fernie directly. Fernie directly edits all your texts.
Using Punch. Joey A, and this is Maddie T, signing
No,
off.
it's a correction. That's not my name.
What's your name?
My mistake. I like to correct the record. My name is Mark.
Mark, with an exclamation point.
No, Punch. Punch, correct that. It's Mark with a semicolon. Wow, that was a great discussion.
Yes, remember, if you like this video, to like and subscribe. You can find us on MySpace.
I think we're a little late for that, but okay.
I like to play with toys productions.
Oh, by the way, we never named our podcast.